Hi, everybody. This is Robert Middleton of Action Plan Marketing. I just did an online event, a webinar with 6 of my past clients who shared some of the best ideas they got from me and how they'd applied that in their business. And it was beyond my expectations. But I wasn't sure I was going to share this, due to technical difficulties, it didn't record properly, which was a bit like a stab in the heart. But I thought, while my memory was fresh, I wanted to share a couple things and really zero in on one thing. One of the first people that shared was a woman named Jamie Bernard, and Jamie is a book writing coach. She helps people write books and find publishers and get them published. And when she started with me, she had just been barely starting this business. This was a number of years ago. She used to be a movie reviewer. That was her business. And she really wasn't used to marketing. So she learned a lot from me in a 9-month or longer course that I did. I think it was a 12-month course back 10 years ago. And she said, Robert, the biggest thing I got was a whole shift in my marketing mindset. See, how often people think about marketing is I'm trying to push something down your throat that you don't want, as opposed to pull people in and really find out what they need. Because in essence, marketing is helping people get what they want. It's finding a match between what you have and what they need. And so she discovered that by understanding this, people would call her and said, I need help with my book. So most people will say, well, you need help with your book. I can help you with a book. I've done that with a lot of people. And here's the process, and here's what I do. And, are you interested? Here's the price. And people were not signing up. So the shift in marketing mindset is find out what people really want. And she discovered that people wanted to write a book for a reason other than just to have a book. It was to communicate something that was very important to them, that they were passionate about, and often it was to make a contribution to the world in a certain way. So in her marketing and in her interaction with clients, she started to ask them, tell me about why you really want this book. Well, I just want a book, but what's underneath that? Why? What's the motivation? Where did that come from? And so she'd get a conversation, and when she hit that point and really understanding why they wanted a book, and both the client and Jamie could get excited about that, something shifted and they wanted to work with her because Jamie got excited about, yes, in doing a book, that will be a great way to help you achieve your bigger goal, the thing that's important for you. And I think this is one of the most important things of marketing. Are we connecting with people? So, I did this this webinar as just to share with people about people that have worked with me a number of years ago and the kind of results. And as I think I said, it blew me away, the kind of things they said, and it kills me that we didn't get it on tape. But so here's what I want to share a little bit about my program. If you're a self-employed professional that sells to other businesses, it's not that you just want to get contracts so you earn more money. Of course, that's one of the things that you want. And you want well-paying contracts. You want contracts that will challenge your creativity, solve problems, move the needle, make a difference. The thing that you really have to ask yourself is, why am I in business? What am I really here on the planet to do for people? And if we just think, well, I just want to get clients and we'll see what happens, that's really not enough to develop marketing that you can be passionate about. So I want to tell you, a little bit about, my story in marketing. I've been self-employed for, how long has it been? Something like, 35 years. I've been doing this for, actually 36 years this year. I've been doing it for a long time. And I want to just tell you a little bit about my story and how I got into this. And this is something I maybe written about a bit, but I really haven't shared it on something like this. So I started my business in 1984 in San Francisco, 36 long years ago. It's hard to believe. It seems like yesterday. So I started by offering coaching and consulting to small businesses. You see, I'd been in business on and off. When I got out of high school, I started a health food store. I mean, I started with no education, no background, but we had a successful health food store for a number of years. And then I moved to other things. I moved to the United States. And then in 1980 or so, I moved to San Francisco. I did a few jobs here and there, but I wanted to start something. And I discovered through doing a career development workshop that I was good at teaching people. I was good at helping people get clear about stuff. I was essentially a good coach before coaching was really a profession. And so I started to do some workshops at a community college about achieving your goals and small business, et cetera. And people started to say, hey, can you help me in my business? And so what I discovered that everyone needs in their business more than anything else is more business. I mean, there's a lot of different kinds of business consulting, and I kind of had a talent for that. And I started to work out marketing strategies and plans for these small businesses. But I didn't really know that much. I used to say I would buy wholesale. That is, I would study something and I'd sell it retail. I'd help people with that idea the next day. So over a period of a few years, I read something like 500 books on business, marketing, and selling. I wanted to know everything. And when I read something and I read it again, I saw, well, that's something that seems to work. I keep hearing about it. I would formulate that for myself. I would try it in my business. And if it worked, if it got me meetings, if it got me in front of an audience, if it helped close business for me, I formulated that in a way that I could teach it. And then I helped other clients with it. And so, that's what I've done for years and years. I learn something, I master it, I formulate it, I teach it, and then I develop classes around it. So, in about 1995, I moved to Silicon Valley, and then I got online in 1996, and I started my email newsletter, my famous email newsletter in 1997. Now, I was the very first email newsletter that focused on marketing for self-employed professionals. There was a lot of stuff about how to market online. I didn't really teach about that. I talked about the things that I had done successfully and how I did it, and I developed a syllabus and a class, and I had a 12-session, 6-month class to begin with, and that developed over the years. And my newsletter grew by leaps and bounds. And again, I would learn something and then I would teach it. So I learned how to develop websites from a book that said how to develop a website in HTML in a week. And I didn't know how hard it would be, so I just read the book and followed the instructions, and I had my first website in a week. Within the next week, I was selling initial website development for small companies, and I developed dozens and dozens of websites over a period of a few years. And so that's the kind of thing I do. I discover marketing things that work, I learn how to do it, and I teach it to people. And so I had a list that grew to about 6,000 subscribers. I was sending an email newsletter out every week, every Tuesday. I've been doing it now for almost 24 years. And after I've been doing it for a few years, I said, why don't I put all my marketing knowledge, my systems that I have so far into a manual? And I wrote this manual called the InfoGuru Marketing Manual, which thousands of people read, and it really kicked off my business and really things took off. And then people who read the manual, I said, well, what if I offered some courses to these people? Because often people will read something and not implement. And a ton of people who had bought my book signed up for my courses. And I've been doing courses ever since for about 20 years. First, I was doing, teleconference courses before there was the video. and we'd talk on the phone. Sometimes I'd have a web interface, but I did all kinds of courses with hundreds of people, some very high-end courses, in-depth courses, 9-month courses, 6-month courses, 1-year courses, certification courses, marketing mastery courses. And I've just continued in that vein, doing various things, always doing the things that excited me, that were the most effective. And I've always kept studying and looking, well, what works best? What doesn't work as well as it used to? What really is appropriate? And when COVID-19 came around, I realized, well, we need to do stuff more virtually because we can't get out there and network and give talks. So how can we do that? So I'm focusing on how you can market yourself virtually, but still offer high-end programs. So that's what I've been doing. And of course, now I do them on Zoom like everyone else. So essentially, I've been marketing and teaching virtually for about 20 years. And, you know, when you interview people and say, what did you get? I mean, let me share a few of the things that some of the people said on the webinar today. Let me just go to my notes here so I can think about it. So Mark Thompson is a very successful coach that sells a $100,000 business service. And he said, Robert, the biggest thing that I got from you is refining my sales process. So sales and marketing really fit together, right? Refining my sales process so that I had a way of talking to a person initially, and then within 5 minutes, they really wanted to know how I could help them. So I crafted certain questions that were compelling, that made them think, you know, are you doing this? Is this an issue for you? That kind of thing. And he says that's resulted in some very, very big contracts. And the smallest contract he has is $100,000. So we helped him refine that process. And of course, this is something that I've refined in my business over the years. And then we translated it for his situation. Another person is also a marketing consultant like mine and only works with women business owners that are selling high-end services that really want to make a big difference in the world. And she talked about how, you know, all these marketing principles just sort of permeated her over the years. And now she can't not do these things that before didn't even occur to her. So one of my principles, for instance, is marketing syntax. Syntax is the order in which you talk about marketing ideas. Here's the problem. Here's what you want. Here's why you're not getting it. Here's how we can help you. That's sort of marketing syntax. And you put that into a particular format in presentations and videos and sales letters, and it engages attention. So she's been using those principles for years and years very successfully in her business. Another person shared about how, what was it? Another person, Jerry, had a service I hadn't worked with before. So when I met with him and I talked with him about being in the program, I said, I'm not sure. Let's talk more. What do you do? What makes you different? And he was offering kind of a generic service, which is credit card processing. Never worked with anyone like that. And I said, you know, after we'd been in the program a few months, he'd clarified his business message, how he was different, what the advantage was. I said, I think you might be a good candidate for an email newsletter because you can express who you are, your authentic personality, which is very kind of old school marketing, really taking care of clients, really keeping your word, doing what you said you would do, and following up, that kind of thing. And I said, wait, could you write about that? And he started a newsletter, which has since become my favorite email newsletter that I read. I never miss it. It also comes out on Tuesday. And he talks about his father who is in business and some of his practices. And he talks about his home and holidays and different seasons of the year and you know, just how that affected him in his life. He doesn't talk at all about credit card processing. So what I seem to have an ability to do is find out for you, based on my basic models and systems, what's the best way or angle for you to market successfully. You know, when we teach you how to create a high-end program, how to put together a powerful presentation, how to get in front of more people, but ultimately, and how to close more business. But ultimately, marketing is about how to communicate your value with power, with simplicity. Here is what I do and how I help people. And that, again, is sort of what I'm trying to do on this video. So we have a 9-month course. We have a 9-month course, which we work with you. We, as a group, twice a month, we do a Zoom group with 10 or 15 or 20 people. You meet with me one-on-one, in which we help you develop that strategy. What is unique about you? What's the best way to package your services? What's the best way to communicate about those services? What are the ways that you can use to get in front of people and talk about your services, and how can you close business? And so we have, those fundamental building blocks of marketing and selling that we teach, but we customize it for you so you find the way. Now with Jerry, on the first time I'd heard, he said, I have a meeting with someone who is potentially the biggest client I've ever had because of my newsletter. Someone that got my newsletter passed it on to someone, and he said, I'd love to meet with this guy. I really like his style. So we found the right thing. We found that personalized, old school business, and he uses a lot of humor. That's what worked. Now, it won't necessarily work with you or you or you. We have to find the way that works for you, building on the principles that we have. So it's a 9-month program. Meet as a group, meet as one-on-one. You always get assignments, work on writing this, developing that, thinking about that, talking to people about this, clarifying all these things so you come up with a system for you. And then we have an accountability system, which is done on the Slack app, where you say, this is what I'm doing this week. And I look at it and I say, okay, this is great, try this. So we're always in communication. So I can work with 15 or 20 clients like this, and there's a synergy between clients as opposed to working one-on-one. I don't work with one-on-one anymore because I don't get that synergy that creates energy and ideas that I can share and develop with everybody on this program. So the thing is, what you're left with after this program is a marketing strategy, a higher end program or service, how to get in front of people, and you're starting to close business for things that you haven't before, and you're communicating in a way that is actually more fun, and it's easier for you, and you don't feel like you're trying to push and pressure anybody into doing business with you. You create more of an open space for, here's what I have, here's my value. Is it worth a conversation to see if that's what you want? And like Jamie, you really, get to know what's behind wanting a book. It's something more than that. So, there's many, 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 endless pieces of marketing, but we get into the most essential ones and then find out how to make it work for you. So if you are a business-to-business professional, if you're a coach, a business coach, an executive coach, some kind of a business-to-business type coach, if you're a management consultant or any kind of consultant that does something, we have a decision-making consultant in our course right now. We have HR consultants. We always get some of those. We have all kinds of different kinds of people that offer help in improving some area of business or some kind of training, or often a combination. A lot of my clients do some training, they do some coaching, they do some consulting, they put it into their own unique package that's designed to produce an ultimate outcome for their clients. So maybe you have parts of that, but not all of the parts, and you want to do that. That's who this program is for. So the program comes with a couple interesting guarantees. The first guarantee is we guarantee that the program will more than pay for itself. In fact, that you will generate twice as much business as you paid for the program. And usually you get one or two clients that you wouldn't get otherwise. It pays for the program. So I guarantee that. And if you don't get that, I will do more work and coaching for you until you get that result, however long it takes. Sometimes this takes longer than we want it to. It's just, you have to learn, you have to try things, you have to fine tune things. There is no instant magic thing for anybody. It just isn't there, but it still can be fun in developing this and trying things out. So that's the first thing. We guarantee you will get results and the program will more than pay for itself. The second thing is this is a 9-month program, but you get to be in the first month at no cost, no money paid up front. I want to demonstrate to you that I know what I'm talking about. I want to show you the big picture overview. I want you to start working on developing your marketing ideas in the first month. And then when month 2 is about to start, we say, okay, do you like this? If you like it, we invite you to continue the program. Simple as that. So it's no risk in starting and it's guaranteed. So this is something I added with COVID-19. People's budgets are tight. They don't want to waste their money. They want to do something that someone has confidence in. And that's why I put it together like that. So here's the deal. If you would like to have a conversation with me and find out more about the program, learn about how the pricing works, it's more affordable than you think, by the way. It's something that most people can fit into their budget. And we do monthly payments. You don't have to pay all up front. So if you're interested in knowing more about that, set up a meeting with me and we'll have a conversation. I'll actually send you a little form so you can tell me a little bit about yourself after we set up the meeting. And we'll have a conversation, a no pressure, no hype meeting. I'm often finding out from you, is this a fit? Are you committed? Are you ready to move forward? Are you ready to take the next bigger step in your business or not? And if not, fine. But if you are, it might be a fit for you. And I'd be happy to work with you like I have with hundreds of people over the last 20 years or so. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. And again, if you're interested, just fill in the form or just click on the link and that goes to my calendar and sets up a 30-minute meeting with me and we'll chat and we'll see where it goes. Anyway, that's it. Thank you so much for listening to this and I hope to talk to you soon. Thank you. Bye-bye.